What was the worst company gossip you discovered that your husband was hiding from you? My husband and I have been together for 9 years. He started his company with some friends of his a year later. He is the major owner. They have 120 employees now, and 80% are men. About a year ago, my husband stopped taking me to company parties, dinners, and other events. He always made up some excuse about taking my mother-in-law instead, or some other family member. Sometimes, he would not tell me at all that there were some smaller company events. He just went by himself. He said it was because he wanted the rest of the family to celebrate him too. I was a bit hurt, but I thought that he was probably right. He is now in a big city in Europe, on a big launch of a product. He took my sister-in-law with him. I admit that I cried when he excluded me this time too, because this was a big deal for his company. However, he promised that he would take me on a luxury vacation instead, just the two of us. This is his thing now. Every time I'm excluded, I get a trip or pieces of jewelry. I'm good friends with the other wives of the shareholders. One of them is 8 months pregnant, so she wasn't in that city. She was surprised to know that I was home too, so we planned to have lunch together. This is when she told me about an incident that happened at my husband's work. In one of the conference rooms, somebody forgot to turn the projector off from the previous meeting. The conference rooms are located in the middle with glasswork walls and doors, so everybody can see inside. On the big screen, there was a list of names. Those were the wives of the owners and some of the members of the management team. My name was number 1. Numbers 2 to 10 were empty. The next name was on the number 11 slot. My husband heard about this. They had an intern investigation. It turned out that a group of co-workers were having fun ranking the chests of certain wives. My husband was very angry. The wife who was telling me was very surprised that I didn't know, because this created a buzz apparently. Her husband told her about it. She assumed my husband told me too. Well, he didn't. When I asked her when this was, it was around the same time my husband stopped inviting me to his parties. I was so hurt and embarrassed. I didn't know he was ashamed of me. I'm 100% sure this is why he doesn't want me there. I never wear provocative or revealing clothes. It makes me sad because if he is blaming me. One morning, I told my husband about my lunch with the other wife. I asked him if he stopped taking me to company events because of what happened. He simply said yes. He didn't even try to deny it. I asked him why. He was surprised because it was obvious. He said that he didn't want his colleagues ogling his wife and disrespecting him. He didn't tell me because he didn't want to upset or hurt me. He said that he was sorry that I found out. I told him that he should have let me decide what embarrassed and hurt me. I said that I felt like he had taken away my agency. He got annoyed and said, I don't want my private life mixed with my work life. I like to keep them separate. I tried to argue some more, but he just shut me down. He said that this discussion was over. I didn't feel good afterwards, but I dropped it anyway. He apologized later. He told me to respect how he handled the situation. He felt undermined and disrespected when the gossip started about me and the other wives. He said that there were more gruesome details, like Photoshop pornographic pictures and clips with my face that were being spread around. I'm a minority, so there were some elements of fetishism and racism involved. I was targeted more than the other women, and that's why the others didn't take the drastic measures my husband did. There was a huge inquiry with human resources and information technology departments to trace the source. Many were fired because of it. My husband decided that he didn't want this to happen ever again. His solution was to separate work and private life. I didn't argue. I just listened to him. I have to say that I totally disagree with how he handled this. They did a great job taking this matter seriously though. They took action against those who were involved. I just felt like I was collateral damage. I should have decided on something that targeted me as a person, but he did it for himself. He wanted to spare himself the headache and embarrassment and disrespect, not me. I have been with him since the start. I have been his number 1 believer even when things were rough in the beginning. I basically own half his shares. All of this is so unfair.